So without further ado, let's welcome the students and the instructor of the Swift Accelerator Programme.
Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it. Thank you to Credit Suisse for having us. Thank you to iOS Dev Scout. Thanks to Vina. Vina has been very supportive. Came by last year to talk to the students. So that's very nice. If anyone would like to talk to the students this year, please let me know. Okay, so my name is YJ. I'm the instructor for this program. Just like to, I'm not who you're here to hear from. I'm just going to give you a bit of context about the program, and then I'll hand it off to my students over here who are going to share, their project. And please download their app. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so this is me. I'm YJ. I'm an Apple professional learning specialist. I don't work for Apple, but APLSs essentially we work with schools. Okay, so that's what I do. Okay. My company is Tinker Tanker. We run courses under our Tinker Academy branding. We sell tech toys and kits under our Get Hacking brand. And that's, yeah, all right. In terms of apps we've developed, this is pretty much it that's actually useful to people. It's an app to take IC photos. I'm not sure if anyone here has actually used it because we haven't updated it since iOS 6. As you can see, it's still got the old design. It's still optimized for the iPhone 4. It's mildly embarrassing. We have a new version available, but we just haven't had the time to update it. I'm very sorry. Apparently, people still use it. Apparently, it still works, so that's nice. Right? When the travel opened up again, we noticed a lot of downloads. By all means, go download it. It still works, I think. Someone let me know if it doesn't. We also run events service, right? This where people download an app, and when you register guests, it's all set up for you. You can scan QR codes and it'll show you how many guests you have left and things like that. So that's obviously that went away over the last 2.5 years, but it's a separate app that we just built and run as a separate business. But most of what we do is work with schools. We teach classes and we work with Apple on this particular program, right? So I'm just gonna skip past this origin story, but essentially the idea is that we're just annoying nerds who build stuff, right? So we just built a bunch of stuff and thought it was funny and made it into a business. So yeah, okay. I also wanted to point out this app, which was made by one of our former students. His name is Jiachen. And as an instructor, every now and then I would think, I wish there was a way to annotate my Mac screen. Like I want to, draw somewhere on this screen. There are some nice remotes that do that. There's a Logitech remote where you can, shine on part of the screen, focus, I think. So I found a $2 app. And my former student / intern / colleague Jiachen asked, why would anyone pay $2 for an app when they can build it, right? So within about 3 days, I think 3 to 7 days, right? He built an app, and it's available on the App Store. It's called Friction. If anyone's interested in it, he's charging $2 for it, just to be amusing, right? Okay, so yeah, so that's enough about us as a company and what we do. So I'm here to talk to you about the Swift Accelerator Programme. So the Swift Accelerator Programme is something that we started back in 2018. We were working with Apple education team, and we wanted to give a chance to students to just, go somewhere beyond the intro programming that you might see in schools. So you probably heard of how the government has introduced all these things like Code for Fun. In primary schools, they must do 10 hours of coding. Every student before they finish PSLE, or maybe after, does 10 hours of coding. Secondary, they have similar programs, and they have Infocom clubs, right, CCAs, that actually let them do this. Usually, we teach some of these courses. We're happy to do this for, as a business, but we don't usually have a chance to go in depth. So we were talking to the Apple folks, and they were like, yeah, let's build something. Let's make something where we get students together, right? There are some students in some schools where they don't actually have the resources or the necessary manpower, not the critical mass, right? So that everyone can come in and attend the course together. So maybe we have one person from this school, 2 people from that school. So we get about 50 students a year together. Apple hosts us. They're very nice about that. And we actually go through, I think, 180 hours of class over the year. We work on Saturdays, we work on the school holidays, and since then we've been doing this for the last 6 years, and it's funded by IMDA. Okay, so these are the numbers. We've worked with about 45 schools, 6 years, so about 50 students a year. We've released about 60 plus apps on the App Store. And these are what students learn. I don't think it's anything too surprising, right? So it's you code in Swift, you use the Xcode IDE, you build with the SDKs. Along the way, of course, it's not just about building apps. You have to make things that people want, right? So we do bring in folks from industry, any of you interested in coming in, all right, to actually talk to the students about what they've learned, about building things that people actually want, and telling the proper story, just building an app that people actually want to use and download. So these are some of the apps that you can find on the App Store. All right, and at the end of it, some of them will actually go on to take the App Development with Swift Associate Certification exam. So this is a certification exam available from Pearson VUE Certiport. And this is, of course, sponsored by IMDA, and you get a nice little cert from IMDA. Okay, so these are photos from events over the last few years. Actually from 2019, we stopped having events in 2020, as everyone probably remembers, right? And only this year, that we managed to have another in-person graduation event for our students. So yeah, we were lucky enough to, of course, have the big boss come by. He came by in end of 2019 to actually see some of our students' work. So this is Jia Chen, the same guy who, decided to build an app because he didn't want to spend $2. All right, and we've been lucky enough to be working with other countries. We're hoping to bring this overseas. So most recently, we went over to the UAE, working with the higher colleges of technology to see whether we can do something similar over there. Okay, so in terms of curriculum, what we teach. We started with UI Kit, right? So Apple has these very nice books, as many of you are probably aware. The Develop in Swift curriculum it was called Intro to App Development initially. In 2021, we were having our class online, and we just, I don't know, I'm not sure if we were just bored, and online classes, we thought, you know what, let's not do the same thing over and over again. It's been a couple of years since SwiftUI came out. Let's go switch the entire curriculum halfway through the class. So we switched over to SwiftUI, and now the curriculum is all SwiftUI. I guess the justification we give people is, this little slide from the Developer State of the Union, right? The best way to build an app is with Swift and SwiftUI. And so our approach is, we try to give students hands-on, right? Let them try things out, make mistakes, make sure there's a lot of coding exercises. We try to create projects where we create one thing, and then the student follows, and then they make a similar project to reinforce the learning and apply on their own. All right? We try not to start with just Swift, right? Our first lesson isn't just, oh, here's a variable, here's a constant, here are types and things like that. First thing we do is, right now, we do SwiftUI, just lay things out on a page and make something weird like these things, right? Actual student work. I'm not responsible for any of these. Yeah, so because SwiftUI, when you first start out, it's a lot like HTML, right? I tell the kids, those who know HTML, it's just putting stuff on the page, right? So if you know enough stuff, you know enough stacks, you know enough modifiers, you know enough gradients, you can do all kinds of weird stuff. So they go ahead and do weird stuff. Right, then from there, we try to make some, interesting apps. This is a flag raising app where you click on the screen, you tap on the screen and something happens, right? So we did this because during the COVID era, the students didn't have their traditional morning flag raising ceremonies. So we had this little ceremony at the beginning of each class where we just had an app, you tap on it, and then I made them sing the national anthem. Nobody actually sang the national anthem, but it was just a fun little app. You tap on the screen, the number increases. You've probably seen that in all kinds of intro apps, right? But the general idea is to try and make it fun, right? This is a simple quiz that they did. All right, so you just tap on the screen, something happens, and tell you what's going on. So this is, of course, from, 2019 or 2020, who knows? 2021? I have no idea. All right, and this is your standard things like your to-do lists, of course, right? You start off with a to-do list, you type stuff in, and then you learn about your usual, I guess in SwiftUI's case, MVVM, persistence, and things like that. And this one is one on APIs, right? So we get them to work with a cat fact API, right? So you tap on the screen, you ask for a new cat fact, and it'll happily load a cat fact for you. Okay. This, of course, depends on actual APIs being available. I believe when I recorded this, the random cat picture API was down, so nothing's happening here. So that's another lesson to be taught. And this one is, the part where we teach them UI Kit. So we get them to do UI dynamics within SwiftUI, and then we, get them to bounce some things around the screen. Okay, so that's enough from me, right? If anyone is interested in, speaking to the students, if you're interested in finding out more, please get in touch. My name is YJ. My email is over there. But I think I would rather you listen to the stars of the show today. Over here today we have Damien. Christopher and Shao. They are all from different schools actually, and they are graduates from last year's Swift Accelerator Programme. And I think I would like to let them introduce themselves and introduce their app to you. All right, so round of applause, please, for them. You guys have a live video?
Yeah.
All right, come, give me. Okay, all right, just give me a moment to get this set up. Live video, which one? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Need to connect. All right, so give us a moment. All right, if anyone has any questions, it's a great time for me to field any questions about the overall program, perhaps while they're getting set up. Anyone is curious about anything, or anyone has any interesting learning resources to recommend? I'm sure all of you use Hacking with Swift. We do tell them to use Hacking with Swift, but I think the thing about Hacking with Swift is that it takes a certain level of knowledge to get to the point where you understand what Paul is writing about. Our goal is to tell them that hey, sometime around like lesson 10 or so, I tell them, hey, you know what? You go to hackingwithswift.com, you understand everything here. Okay, my job is done. You all go and do the rest, right? Yes, please. You do allow there as well. Okay. No. Hang on. Disconnect. Okay, so a bit of background, sometime around like 100 hours or so in, all right, we tell them, okay, it's time to build an app, right? Because we do want them to actually build and release an app in teams on the App Store, okay? So we go through a few ideation processes and things like that, all right? I don't, other than a few guidelines like, please don't make useless apps that will get rejected, kind of guidelines, I don't actually restrict that very much. I do say no to-do lists and no recipes after learning my lesson for about 2 years. But yeah, here we go. Right, so Christopher, please take it away. I think you need to log into this fuzzy thing.
I'm just gonna hold it,
yeah,
and then I'm gonna hold this one as well.
All right.
Yeah. Good evening. We are from the Swift Accelerator Programme of 2022. So before I start, I would like to start with a question. How many of you have taken a photo of a slide or a whiteboard that you found interesting before? Just a show of hands. Yeah, quite a few of you. I know I have, and so have we. While taking photos of PowerPoint slides and documents and whiteboards, we found that often these get lost in our endless photo gallery. And we sought to solve this problem through creating Snapboard. Snapboard is the app that we released with the Swift Accelerator Programme in 2022. Yeah.
This is our group. There's one member who isn't here, unfortunately, but that's Senior Minister of State Tan at our graduation ceremony earlier this year. Yeah. So more about our app Snapboard. It allows you to take pictures and images of whiteboards, and afterwards save them with some information, and it allows you to do quite a few other things like live text and markup, and you can, yeah. Alright, so we gonna do a live demo. So new scan, can take a photo. Hopefully it works from here.
I can go closer.
Oh no,
if you want.
okay. Go over there.
Or you could just do this.
Oh, right. So it automatically crops it using vision, and I mean you can.
Kind of messed up.
Oh no.
Okay, keeps messing up.
It's a screen, that's right.
It's a screen.
Just retake it. Just retake it.
Yeah, you think.
Because when I adjust screen brightness.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. So, if it is on the screen like an actual whiteboard, apparently it works and it like automatically crops it. So, here's my actual whiteboard from math lesson in school about infinity. Yeah. So, if you are satisfied with the cropping, you can crop it or rotate it. Can save the image, add a title, add a description, and you can add tags. So, for example, I can add a tag math. And once I save it and go into my library, I can sort it by tags and it will only show the whiteboards that have that tag. Yeah, and you can also go in, you can edit the title, tags, description, and we also implemented Quicklook, which allows you to do a markup and live text if you press this button. It does an okay job at recognizing my math teacher's handwriting. And you can also export it, so yeah. That's about it for our app functionality. So I'd like to go through our app's ideation, implementation, and some issues that we face. So first, ideation. As previously mentioned, the problem. So we take a lot of photos of whiteboards, documents, slides, but when we want to refer back to them, they get lost in the endless row that's our photos app. So we tried to make this app to solve that problem. So, and these are all the features that we wanted to include initially. It's quite ambitious: image sharpening, stacking, sorting and organization, which we first pictured as folders. But these are the features that we ended up with. There were no folders, but we managed to implement some tags, which works. Yeah.
Okay, so off to implementation. Yeah. Okay, so these are the technologies that we use. Of course, we use Swift. That's why we're here. We have Swift UI for the user interface, Vision Kit for the scanning of whiteboards as we just saw. We use Quicklook for the image viewing and also PhotoKit for as an image figure in Swift UI. Yeah. So what we'll be focusing on for our sharing is Vision Kit. Okay. So Vision Kit is Apple's framework for integrating computer vision for different applications. So what you get is things like image analysis, face detection, core ML, live text. So that's under Vision Kit. And the one we used was the VN document camera view controller. Quite a mouthful, yeah. So I'll be referring to this as VC. Yeah, right. Okay. So yeah, we'll just be sharing about how we implemented this as a SwiftUI view to be used in a SwiftUI app. Yeah. So the point of this thing is for document scanning. So what you'll get is things like automatic page detection, perspective correction, allows for things like editing, retaking, and it was originally designed for UIKit, which is why we have to go through how we added it into SwiftUI, and also, yeah, for you to save image data. Okay, so this is our document camera view. It's sort of the controller, the view of the SwiftUI. So of course, the first step will be to import of your libraries like Vision. Yeah, so I'll start with this part of the code, which is struct. So, yeah, so basically this struct is the main SwiftUI view struct that will be used to display things like the document scanner, and it also conforms to the UI view controller representable, which is the sort of the property wrapper to wrap a UIKit view in SwiftUI. to be used in the Swift UI application. Yeah. So afterwards, we have the make UI view controller. So what this does is it is responsible for creating and configuring the VM document view controller instance. So it's sort of the initialization of the document scanner. So it also sets the delegate, which will handle things like callbacks from document with the camera view controller. Yeah. Okay, the next part is the update UI view controller. So this is here just for conformance to the VN VDC thing. Yeah. So as you can see, there's nothing in there because this is just for conformance, and we didn't need to have anything that updates constantly. Yeah. Okay.
So this is the make coordinator function, and it creates a new instance of the coordinator class. This serves as a delegate for the document camera view controller, and it's responsible for handling callbacks from the view controller, such as when a document has been scanned. This is the coordinator class, and it's only called when the user finishes scanning a document with the document camera view controller. It retrieves scanned pages as UI image objects and then passes them to the onComplete closure, which is in the next bit. Yeah, so this is the, I think we didn't change something. Okay. It's a different bit of code. Yeah. Okay, so this is the document camera view controller, and it is what gets, it's different code. Yeah. So it's called when the user has finished scanning a document with the document camera view controller, and it retrieves the scanned pages as images, yeah. So, onto using it. This is
So this is how you call it.
Yeah, so this is how you call it in the other view, yeah, in the home view. Okay, so now I'll pass it on to Damien to talk about the challenges.
So, the issues that we faced is firstly, it lagged a lot the moment you added like 5 entries or so. And this is, so by the time we realized that it was lagging when you had 5 entries, we were 3 hours past the deadline. So we asked for some help from our trainer, Jia Chen, who's over there. And he found out the problem, which is basically we had stored every single entry of like whiteboard in a single array. So when we changed one thing, it rewrote the entire array with all the high quality images taken with the phone camera. So it was causing a lot of lag, and the fix. So basically it checks if the last save was more than 1 second ago, it saves. If it isn't, it waits a bit and then it saves, which stops it from continually just updating and lagging the whole app. So another issue that we faced was Quicklook. So Quicklook, it only accepts a binding URL, but our images were stored as in our struct as data, the type data, which is a problem. So how we fixed it was we converted the data into a UI image, then converted the UI image into a PNG data, and then we put that into a temporary directory. So that's a URL which we then use as a binding in our Quicklook. So it's quite complicated, and there's probably a better way of doing it, but yeah. So, any questions? Yes.
No, my question is more to you. It's like all three of them you said is from different schools, right?
Yes.
And how do you match them together? Would they have worked on this idea? It's like how did you find each other? It's like
So I want to clarify first that they're all secondary school students, right? So 13 to 16, right? But you guys should tell them how you.
So, when we go for the sessions, which is what, every Saturday in person, they kind of let us form our own groups to work on the apps and brainstorm and whatnot. So we just kind of formed the group because we were sitting on the same table. And
that's fantastic. I mean, they wouldn't have otherwise collaborated if not because of this program, right? I think this gives them an opportunity to collaborate and continue this friendship, I guess.
a friend, right? Okay. Yes, Kai.
Okay, yes. Yes, by the way, I was one of their classmates at the Swift Accelerator Program. Why did you choose this method of storage? Why are you storing images as raw data? And like, did you guys have any plan when it came to saving your data? Or were you guys just like, oh, you can save data this way, let's go with it, and any problems that come along, we'll just put a band-aid on it?
For us, we are pretty inexperienced with Swift because basically we just started when program started, and for persistence, this was the method of storage that was taught to the whole class, and we just went with it without considering much, and consequences happened, and yeah, yes,
I didn't want to teach core data.
it works. I don't want to touch core data. Anyway, yeah. Any other questions?
So what are you doing now? You have graduated last year, right? And so how are you taking your learning forward? So are you building new apps? Are you applying for WWDC scholarship?
Oh, Swift Student Challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are planning on participating in the Swift Student Challenge. Yeah.
To clarify that Shao here already won the Swift Student Challenge in his first year, in his very first year. Like literally about 2 weeks after class started, we were like, oh, we have a winner from the class.
So much about not knowing Swift.
This is like the same guy who said he didn't know Swift. So.
Yeah, so much for that.
But yeah, anything else you guys are working on?
No.
Exams.
Exams, yes.
Come to the meetup, bring your whole class to the meetup every month.
I mean,
And speak, yeah, for sure.
yeah, there's this year's a batch. There were quite a few alumni went to the first session, I think, as to help out. So they had a kind of informal meetup there. I think like half the batch went. Yeah. Anything else? Yes.
It's also challenging to when you're trying to develop an app, right? And you have kind of a code. Is it also challenging to learn the language and develop the app together, or how did you guys find it?
Yeah, we were kind of learning on the go as we developed the app. I think, yeah. Not greatest, but yeah, we managed it. It was quite hard, but yeah.
How much time you took to develop?
How long is it?
no, 2 months.
Like probably around 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were still like 7 hours late, so. I remember the fix was 3 hours after the deadline, so it was 4 more hours of coding and fixing bugs. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Right.
Thank you all for sharing with us. That's such an ingenious idea. I would like to use it because I've usually faced that problem at work a lot of times. Yeah, I downloaded your app. It looks pretty good.
Thanks.
Oh no.
That's not the right response, guys.